This is a Synaptic transmission whiteboard animation project by Ethan, Tony, and Oliver.
Now let's take a look at a neuron. Neurons are a special kind of cell that send and receive information in our nervous system, and they have three main parts: the dendrites, the cell body, and the axon. First, we have the cell body or soma, which acts as a control center for the cell. Next, these branch-like structures are called dendrites, and they receive cell signals similar to antennas. Extending from the cell body is the axon, a long cable that carries the electrical signal away from the neuron. These axons are wrapped in a fatty coating called the myelin sheath, which acts as insulation and helps the signals travel faster. At the very end is the axon terminal. These release chemicals called neurotransmitters into the synapse, the tiny gap between neurons, so the signal can pass to the next cell.
There are gaps between the myelin sheath called nodes of Ranvier. And outside of the cell, there are more sodium ions, and inside of the cell, there's more potassium ions. The resting potential of the cell membrane is negative 70 millivolts. When there's a stimulus greater than the threshold, an action potential fires. This is due to the sodium channel opening, allowing sodium ions to flow into the cell through diffusion. And this process is known as depolarization. And potassium channels open and potassium exit the cell, also through diffusion. Depolarization causes the cell membrane to reach a membrane potential that is more positive than before. Then the sodium channels close and potassium still leaves the cell, which causes the repolarization of the cell membrane and eventually leads to hyperpolarization, and then the potassium channels close and it slowly returns back to resting potential. After the action potential fires, the sodium and potassium pump reset the ions back so that potassium is inside of the cell and sodium is outside of the cell. And for every 3 sodium ions that leave the cell, 2 potassium ions enter the cell. And this is through active transport.
But what happens when this process is blocked? Tetrodotoxin, the deadly toxin from pufferfish, binds tightly to voltage-gated sodium channels. When these channels can't open, sodium can't enter the neuron. That means depolarization can occur and the action potential never fires, leading to neurotransmitters never being released. The result is rapid paralysis, which is why tetrodotoxin poisoning is so dangerous.